Alright, let's go there for a second. Pull up a chair. Light one up if you got it. Today we're going back to 1999. Today's backdrop, The Best Man. We all remember the vibe. We watched Harper walk into a wedding weekend with a book full of everyone's secrets, but a heart too small to tell the truth to his brothers' faces. We called it the bro code. We treat it like it's the 11th commandment in the black community. We've been conditioned to believe that loyalty means keeping the vault locked tight, even when the secrets inside are burning the house down. We'd rather watch a brother drive off a cliff than to be the one to tell him to slow down. All because we don't want to be labeled a hater. 39 years old, I've seen what I've seen. I gotta ask though, is that loyalty? Or is it just a shield for cowards who are too afraid to face themselves in the mirror? We're talking about the accountability code. We're unpacking why your circle might be the very thing keeping you from being a good man, and why being a best man for one day don't mean nothing if you aren't a better man in the dark. I got some things to get off my chest about the company we keep, but as always, I'll explain all this later. Let's start the show.
Yeah. You tuned in to the place they tap out, and we tap in. All the grown talk, all the real flavor, sex, love, and the mess in the middle. We get to it now, not later. We don't duck smoke, we don't dodge behavior. If they scared to say it on air, we break it down with that razor.
This is I'll explain all this later.
Say it loud, say it back, do it greater. With your host, Big Smash, and filtered creator. Pull up a chair.
I'll explain all this later.
From the bedroom secrets to the broken hearts in the chat. From late night texts to red flags waving, we really talk about that. So hit that play. Bring your questions, your favor. You with Big Smash and the crew.
I'll explain all this later.
Y'all know what it is, and what it's always gonna be. Now, as we step into the next episode of season 4, man, I just want to take the time to thank everybody who took the time to listen to the first episode. Got a lot of positive feedback about it, which it now enables us to move on to the next one. All right, we love The Best Man, right? We love the suits, we love the cigars, we love the brotherhood. But let's keep it 100, right? Harper wrote a whole book because he couldn't tell his friends the truth to their faces. All right? He actually started the line, the rips in the friendship, because I think a lot of times we will go through motions where we will try to protect a lie for our homies more than protect a piece for the woman, right? The friends knew about each other's dirt. All right, everybody, that's a key element in friendship. I know your wrongs, I know your rights, I know what you done, I know how you did it, I know who you did it with, I know these things, you know what I'm saying? And in most cases, friends are supposed to take that shit to the grave. All right? I think what it is, when you honest about somebody's wrongs, we look at that as snitching instead of actual brotherhood. I think a lot of times too, if I see my brother driving towards a cliff, am I a hater for telling him to hit the brakes? Like, you gotta really ask yourself that. Am I a hater for telling him to hit the brakes or slow down? You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we have a bunch of yes men in our circle. All right? Yes men is a slow poison. It is a slow poison in the fabric of the friendship. If your circle doesn't have the authority to check your character, you don't have a brotherhood, you have a fan club. And that's what we started to find out with this movie. You know, a lot of times we have that one friend in the circle who feels he can judge everyone else while hiding his own slip up. He slipped up with Jordan. He knew he did. He knew he was out of pocket. But he will try to be in everybody else's business because I think he looked at that as a way to hide his own flaws. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we hold our partners to a standard of perfection that we ourselves or even our friends don't even meet. Why is that? I think I'll explain that. I think the reason why we hold our partners to expectations because we put them on a higher pedestal. I'm not sleeping with my friends. My friends don't take care of me when I'm sick. My friends don't cook and clean, and I'm not walking through life with my friends. So the standard for my partner is a little different. Does it always make it right? No, but it's a little different. It comes with a price, and the price is you accepted the role of being my partner. So I push that to the break of you accept that role, I accept you for that role, and we run with that. My friends don't have to meet that standard per se. There is a high standard to be my friend. There is a high standard to be in my circle. I hold my friends and family very accountable on the level that they are. But if you my partner, you gotta take that. You know what I'm saying? That's what comes with the description, them standards. Now, I'm not saying you have to be perfect because there is no one perfect, but you do have to be perfect when it comes to me. All right. One thing about us, we will project. Usually the man who is the most paranoid about his woman is the one who knows what his boys are doing in the dark. So birds of a feather flock together, right? So you see all the things, you see everything that's going on in the friendship. You see how your friends are moving with they women. You have them relationships where your girl might come home and tell you all the things that her friends are doing because she can confide in you. Y'all have that type of trust that she can confide in you. She can come tell you everything that's going on under the sun with her friends. Just think about it for a second. Birds of a feather flock together. That's a real thing. If your friend, if your woman or your man is coming home comfortable telling you things that their friends are doing, you can't tell me that a light bulb is not going off in your head that why are you hanging with them if they're doing these type of things? Are you doing these type of things with them? You know what I'm saying? These are the things that will come up. These are the things that we're conditioned to come up with. Now, moving on, you got to think about Shelby, right? Shelby wasn't happy with what he had at home, and he ended up finding what he thought was peace in Candy, who had a difficult lifestyle, which a lot of dudes will try to come in and think, oh, hey, I can save you, I can change you, you ain't got to do this. You know what I'm saying? I can make life better for you. All right, and so now you got to ask yourself, why are we so conditioned to choose the woman who looks good on paper over the woman who chooses to bring us peace? There are a lot of women out here that love bringing us peace. And I'll admit, there were a lot of relationships that I went through that, you know, I stayed in them because I felt like, all right, cool, I like her. She dope, she's sexy, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But then we argued like cats and dogs. We got into it over the most insane shit. So it made things very difficult at times, and it made me have a wandering eye. It made me have a mind of full for temptation because you don't bring me peace. Now, was I right about that? No, absolutely not. I think no matter what the reason is cheating, lying is lying, wrong is wrong. Now, back in the days, I didn't have them type of morals and standards. I really didn't care, you know. But now, as I look at it, like, nobody wants to be cheated on. Nobody wants to be lied to. Nobody wants to be played. Nobody wants to, you know, go through things and go through the motions where they have to sit here and act as if they're perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm definitely not perfect. And we go through the motions of these things because, again, sometimes we often let our friends' opinions choose our spouses. And then we wonder why we're so miserable at home. We're miserable at home because our friends are picking who we want for us instead of who we're picking who we want for us. I used to be, listen, it used to take me a minute before I let anybody meet the friends, meet the team, meet the family, whatever the case is. You just didn't walk through the door meeting them, because I knew that the expectations of what would they think, what would they want, how would they feel, it played a part in it. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want that type of stigma on me. All right. So sometimes there's that opinion of, damn, I really hope they like. And that's why we always try to introduce whoever we dealing with to the family and friends, because we want to see the dynamic. We want to see what they think. I mean, honestly, we want to see what they think. We want to see how they feel before things get too serious. And that family could be the kids, it could be the friends, it could be the mom, it could be whoever. But sometimes you be conflicted. You don't know if the person that you're dealing with is the person that you want. So it's okay to have a circle that will give you an opinion. And I'm not talking about, your yes men. I'm talking about people that will actually give you an opinion. You are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. Okay? If your best man is a serial cheater, your homie, your boy, your partner, that's your man's. If he's a serial cheater, your girl is going to look at you with a side eye every time you hang out with him. Okay? You are guilty by association. Y'all remember what I just said? Birds of a feather flock together. You are guilty by association. He could be the biggest cheat in the world, and you could be the man that's like, yo, I got a lady at home. I ain't on that type of time. But you guilty by association, because when you hang with people of that character, that stigma follows you. All right? And a lot of times we will look the other ways. We know our friends be married. Listen, I got a homie. Shout out to my homie. I ain't gonna say his name, but he was a known cheater. He was a serial cheater, and I knew this shit. And I would sit here and watch him get out here and do his work, do his business, because we did our dirt together, in a sense. So I would watch him. And it wasn't my business. I didn't get into the dynamics of what was going on in his house, what was going on, who he was with, who he was doing. None of that shit. It wasn't my business. It wasn't my place. I don't get involved in the toxicity. But when you don't get involved in the toxicity, that means you're co-signing it. Okay, that means you are co-signing it. True friendship in a friend group, you are going to be the one to say, yo, that's not it. You tripping. You bugging. That's not it. That's not what we're doing here, bro. At the end of the day, you bugging. You got to correct that, dog. Like, listen, if you cheating, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I tend to stay out of that, because I can't tell another grown-ass man where to stick his Johnson at. But now, certain shit like you ain't working, sitting on your ass all day, living off your woman. Hey, my mans, come on, man, come get a job with me, bro. Let's get out here and do something. If you ain't taking care of your kids, I can't fuck with you. I ain't gonna sit here on the sideline while you ain't taking care of your kids and just acting like it's okay, because again, you condoning that shit. It makes you feel like you're feeling good about that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't what we doing. You gotta look at Terrence Howard's character in this movie. He was the truth teller. You know what I'm saying? He had nothing to lose. He didn't have a horse in the race. You know what I'm saying? True friendship in a friend group is being the one to say, get your shit in order, dog. All right? It doesn't take an outsider or a wild card of the group to be the most honest. All right? Everybody should be honest with each other. If we are a circle, everybody should be honest with each other. And I think that's where this movie was going with it, because they wasn't being honest with each other, which caused a rift. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it was a drunk night. I don't care if it was before me. My man slept with my man's girl on some hating shit, on some low-key hating shit, if we really gonna be technical about it. Like buddy ass Tay Diggs was on some hateful, spiteful shit, right? You know what I'm saying? And I gotta keep it real. He was on some hating shit. He slept with his man girl, man. All right, he did. And the crazy thing about it is he didn't even have the gumption to tell that man to his face. We often confuse silence with loyalty. Black male circles, right? There's an unspoken rule. I don't see what you're doing. You don't see what I do. Like, you see what I do, but you don't see what I do. It doesn't go no further. If your loyalty requires you to lie to a woman your brother calls his queen, you aren't honoring him. You're helping him burn his house down, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I think Maya and Harper was both wrong in that sense. Y'all knew what the fuck was going on, and y'all sat in, y'all lied to this man. Even though Lance wasn't no saint, bro, he was out here doing his thing. He was moving around. He was grinding. He was fucking. He was, you know what I'm saying? He was doing him. But I just feel like his best friend and his girl, that's a different type of level. You couldn't even be my friend no more, bro, if you did some fucked up foul ass shit like that behind my back, bro, and kept it and then wrote it off on social media as if it was somebody else's life. I would have tossed Harper punk ass off that roof. I ain't gonna hold you. He'd have been off that roof, bro, straight up, and then some. And I think a lot of times when you look at it, right, I think Buddy stayed with old girl because she was the right look for a successful black man. All right, many men are dating a resume instead of a person. She had all the qualities. She was qualified in the successful sense. Okay, she was dope for him in a public eye view sense. All right, nobody's really gonna be out here wifing a stripper or a known or a former promiscuous woman. That just doesn't get put out in the forefront a lot. It happens. Don't get it wrong. You got the Amber Roses, the Kim Kardashians, and all of them, but they had money. So of course, you know, you look at them a little bit different because they had money. So, if you choosing a partner based on how your boys or your mama will view you, you are not building a home, you're building a stage. All right? Buddy wrote everybody's secrets in the book because he couldn't handle the confrontation of a conversation. You know what I'm saying? He's a digital author in sense because things are like right there in front of you. And we all are digital authors at one point. We'll post subtweets or we will record podcasts about what women do instead of having an honest, vulnerable talk with the woman that you're laying down with every night that's in your bed. That's crazy work, okay? Every circle has a Quinn, right? The one who tells it like it is, but is dismissed as the wild one because, like I said earlier, he doesn't have a horse in the race. Usually this person, he's got the least to lose and is the only one telling the truth because he's not attached to anybody. He's single. He knows what he wants. He's not attached. And we always tell him, because we don't want to hear that shit, we always telling him, nah, we don't want to hear that shit. A lot of times people won't listen to the delivery of that person because they're too busy doing their own thing. And they don't want to hear a sensible person in the circle. But every circle has a sensible person. You know what I'm saying? I like to think that every circle has a sensible person. Okay? The key point of this was a bachelor party. Okay? A last night of freedom. This man was finna get married to... And there was a whole bunch of secrets in this group, man. Like men and women, there was a whole bunch of secrets. And you can't go into something with a bunch of secrets like that, man. The mindset is the root of the problem. If you feel like marriage is a prison sentence and you need a final night away, you are not ready for commitment. We need to shift the focus from losing freedom to gaining a teammate, okay? Here's another thing, like your friends are your friends. You my friend? You're going to stir me down the right path. You're going to tell me I'm wrong. And I've had a lot of tough conversations, right? I've had a lot of tough conversations. And in those conversations, Smash, you fucked up. You wrong. You bogus. You know what I'm saying? I remember having talks with my podcast circle. See, I tend to have more deeper talks with my podcast circle because I feel, I don't know, a little less judged. I mean, yeah, they gonna tell me if I'm wrong. But I remember these talks that I used to have with my boy Germ and my boy Styles. And this was around the time that I was deep thoughted into wondering like, damn, my marriage, this shit over with. And I would talk to them because you gotta understand, they had been where I was trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? So I would have these talks with them, and trust me, these talks wasn't normal as, we just gonna hear his side and not really think about everything else. Nah, this wasn't them talks. Like, these were talks like, dog, you fucked up. We see that you fucking up. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay to, you know, be vulnerable, be upset, be hurt, you know, but we still gonna give you a swift kick in the ass, bro. We hear you, we feel for you, we understand it, but we not gonna condone the fuck shit. Like, you did a lot of fuck shit. And we not just gonna tell you cause you are a boy that you didn't do a lot of fuck shit. And honestly, I can tell you right now, those conversations were very hard for me to listen to. I'll tell you why. Because I feel like you my homie, you gonna stand with me, and I learned a valuable lesson in those conversations. Yeah, we your homies, but we got morals, we married, we been here, we been there, we know how this shit works. So we can't sit here and tell you right and you not right. And that's what you can learn to appreciate in a friendship. Let's go back to this though. Many men, right, they enter marriage with ghosts in the room. Okay, if you haven't closed the book on your past, you just writing a sequel that your wife did not audition for, your lady did not audition for. I think that's the biggest thing about it. We act like we perfect. We act like we see everything, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's where we gotta stop. If you truly my friend, be my friend. Don't be my friend and be a hater though. Everybody got that one person in the group that's a hater. He is a hater, and we will sit here and we will act like he's not a hater, but in all actuality, he's a hater. Okay? And I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I'm not gonna hold you, you know, or lie to you or keep it. I have to keep it a buck because I'm not really a friend if I'm not. Okay? I'm not really a friend. Men choose loyalty over integrity sometimes because loyalty feels like safety, while integrity feels like a risk. You know what I'm saying? We rather keep the bro code intact than do the hard work of the hard work. That's what's the scary part about the bro code, right? You want to honor the bro code. You do. You know what I'm saying? We've been taught that the bro code is the highest form of loyalty. You know what I'm saying? And I know I was definitely taught that. But if your loyalty requires you to be a co-conspirator in a bunch of lies that destroys a black woman's peace, that is not loyalty. Or a black woman or any woman in general. You trying to pay that debt to stay in the club. Real loyalty is telling your brothers he's out of bounds. And I had to hear those talks a lot. The bro code was designed, you know, for loyalty. You know, you have people that are trying to apply a 15-year-old rules to 40-year-old lives. If the code prevents you from maturing into a husband or a father because you're worried about not being a snitch, you aren't a man, bro. You aren't. You're an old boy, honestly. Silence is not neutral. You know what I'm saying? When you see your friend moving reckless, right? Living a double life, neglecting the kids, and you say nothing because under the guide of the bro code, you know, you help your brother no matter what. You helping him build his own casket, though. We got to stop calling silence respect and start calling it what it is, enabling. You are enabling this fucked up behavior. All right? You safe for the secrets. You safe for the shit that motherfuckers go through But a lot of them secrets can tear you apart. A lot of them secrets that you hold in for friends can tear you apart because that's not your morals, that's not your character, that's not your standard. You know what I'm saying? When a group of guys share secrets, right, they create what is called a shame bond. You aren't friends in that instance because you like each other. You're friends because you're holding the same evidence over their heads. So it's, for instance, if I robbed the bank, right, with two of my homies, we locked in automatically because we did some fuck shit and we in on it together. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times that'll be like, yo, man, we did, you know, I used to say, man, I can't really call you my brother unless I went through some shit with you. In that case, that's a hostage situation because now you got something to hold over my head anytime you feel you want to get the ups on me. You know what I'm saying? The bro code is strictly enforced when it wants to because men are terrified that if they hold their friends accountable, right, they'll have to look in the mirror and hold themselves accountable. I can't throw glass stones at your house and that I live in a glass house my goddamn self. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to protect your friends' lies than it is to admit that you live in one too. Because we all got secrets. We all got things that we done took to the grave. The whole snitch thing to me is a myth, right? Okay? Snitch carries a heavy weight, right? But we have to distinguish between street rules and relationship reality. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you need to go home and work it out with your wife. Y'all need to fix that shit. That's not snitching. Or, hey, man, I really need you to hold it down, man. If my girl called me tonight, man, say I was with you, you could tell a motherfucker, nah, I'm not covering for you tonight, bro. That doesn't mean I'm going to tell your partner whatever it is you out here doing, that ain't my place. I'm not going to cover for you. You know what I'm saying? Every time you choose the bro code over the truth, you are telling your own partner that she is secondary. You are telling that the opinion of the fellas matters more than the security of your own home. Because you are telling your woman, you might go home and tell your woman, listen, I had to cover for my boy tonight, man. I know it was wrong, but I had to save his house and blah, blah, blah. But you also letting your woman know she looking side-eyed now like, damn. So what you out here lying to me about? You can't expect a woman to trust you fully when she knows that you are a part of a circle that protects the very things that will hurt her. Because what that's telling her is your friends will do that same shit for you. The bro code is a survival tactic for boys who are afraid of the dark. And you looking at one of them. I probably wrote the book on the bro code. All right? But it's also a death sentence for men that's trying to live in the light. You have to decide if you want to be the best man for your circle, your team, your wife, your man, whoever, all in once, right? Or a great man every day in your own home. Okay? You can't be the best man for just one night at a wedding or, you know what I'm saying, something like that. You gotta pick and choose. You're gonna be a great man forever or you're gonna be a best man for just one night. If you're still protecting the lies that destroy everything around you, like you're co-signing, you're condoning it, that's you. The bro code is a shield for cowards who are afraid of their own reflection. I'm not gonna lie to you or about you just to benefit you. Now, it's different if we lying to the police or some shit like that. That's different. I think there's a lot of secrets and a lot of games, and sometimes if you are a friend group that is as tight as you are, you got to put everything out on the table. Right there, right then and there, you got to put it out on the table. All right, so look at it like this, right? We are more afraid of being alone than we are being wrong. We know these lies and secrets and games will destroy us, so we prefer to keep that shit in the vault. We keep secrets in the bro code alive because we're terrified that if we hold our friends accountable, we will lose our tribe. Think about it. Harper almost got his ass thrown off a roof. Lance still went head on and married his girl. Gotta look at it like that, you know? And he stayed with her through the end. He forgave and he moved on. And he's a stronger dude than me. I don't know if I could have forgave that whole situation. I'm not gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I could have been that strong. I believe that it would have been extremely tough for me to deal with that. You know, it would have been extremely tough. So, listen, y'all already know what it is. I'm Big Smash, host of the I'll Explain All This Later podcast. And I'm fresh off of doing the things that, you know, I go there. I'm going there. And I think, like, for the next one, right? The next one, we're going to talk about vulnerability, right? And the perfect backdrop for this movie, you know, I think sometimes you got to look at things from a different perspective. And I know y'all going to be like, damn, this nigga really be watching this shit. But I don't watch it for the reasons that everybody else watch it. I just watch it and I come up with my own 2 cents about things. I'm a movie head. So naturally, we're going to take movies and we're going to create our own narratives around things. All right? So y'all, let's see what the next movie is on the next joint. Y'all already know what this is. I'll see y'all next week.
Thanks for listening to I'll Explain All This Later. Please like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And join us again next time for more outlandish takes on relationships and the dating life.